possible.
I want to frame my question in a way that's sensitive, not because you and I don't have a relationship, but because I just met y'all.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that I care for you all the way that you have curated this space. You have mentioned the abuse and the taking of your innocence. And I know that from a psychological perspective, we're all kids, we're just tall kids. Mm-hmm. And the things that we endure, the things that we hear, the things that we experience as children doesn't go away when you turn 30, doesn't go away when you turn 18, doesn't go away when you get your car at 21. It goes with you. Mm-hmm. You're still that child. Mm-hmm. And when we have those revelatory moments, we're not dealing with us at 30, 18, and 21. We're dealing with us at 6. We're dealing with us at 8. We're dealing with us at 12. And what does that 12-year-old need in order not to drive this car off the cliff? What does that 18-year-old need not to back out from this opportunity, this scholarship, this job? What does this 30-year-old need not to walk out from this marriage because they're still the kid that was hurt, violated, misused, and abused when they were younger? That has been a part of your story. It has clearly made you resilient. It's made you strong. But I've also seen you be super soft as well and gentle and kind. But I want to know, how have you, not how, let me reframe. What can you tell the child in you about the woman you're becoming? And I'm asking that because your Lotus community, I'm sure, share your story. That's the kingdom, right? The Lord allows us to be connected and drawn to people who share our stories. So for them, I want to know, how do they talk to that child that has had that experience, who's now trying to live as an adult? How did you do that? How did you deal with that child to build the resilience, to build the strength? And are you still dealing with that child?
There are so many questions in there, and I'm going to try to answer each one. To answer your question on what I would tell the Lotuses in regards to what they should say to the child in them, be honest. We lie to ourselves a lot. And sometimes I feel like we don't embrace the truth because the truth isn't always pretty.
Right.
The truths about ourselves, the truths about how we got to where we are, the truth about what role we actually played in that, and we can't play the blame game all the time. Be honest. You asked also, what would I say to the little girl?
Yeah, it's a cute little Mattie.
And I would ask you which one. Because there were so many different facets of her as she tried to evolve. And each time when there seemed like there was growth, there will be another occurrence. So the first time was at a rather young age. So it would be at that age I would tell her, you have the right to be afraid. You should be afraid. You don't know what's happening here.
Right.
And even at 4, you know that this doesn't feel right. But what do you say as a 4-year-old?
Right.
So be afraid. I don't even think I would articulate to her at 4 when it first happens that she's going to be all right. Because we need to be able to sit in whatever emotion that we're feeling and be able to have that emotion.
Yes.
And I don't even want to say at a healthy timeline, because what does that look like?
Yeah.
I believe as long as you have the correct support, that you should be able to have your emotion fully.
Absolutely.
So that you won't carry it
Absolutely.
as baggage throughout life.
Yes.
When it happens again, I think I would say to her, it's okay to be angry at the adults. But this anger doesn't have to show up in your life in a manner that will self-sabotage you. It's not her fault. All things that she probably doesn't want to hear at the time, but words, like you said earlier, have a way of permeating our spirit. So I would say that to her as a deposit, a positive deposit in her at the time. At her teenage self, I would say to her, you can hold people accountable. But just try. And it's a big ask, because there should be someone there protecting you. There should be somebody there showing up for you. And sometimes we want children to take on adult responsibilities. So why should I even try for these adults that aren't being accountable? But the try that I'm asking her to do is for her. The try I'm asking is so that that seed of perversion that was planted will be safeguarded by her in the best way that she can at 14. That it won't show up in other areas as far as dating, promiscuity, making other irrational decisions that would have long-term consequences from a decision that she did not have a choice in.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
For the adult me, I would say you were dealt a hand. You're playing the hand. Nobody gave you the rules in the beginning. They just dealt you your cards. And you've learned along the way. But the one thing she sees now is that the hand of God has been on her life the entire time. And I get that people that don't believe in God will say, well, if God is real, why did he allow these things to happen to you? Yeah. Why does he allow such horrible things to happen? We have free will.
Yes.
Nobody makes us do anything. We have free will.
Absolutely.
So we don't control others. But we are responsible for ourselves.
Right.
So I hope I've answered all of your
did.
questions.
You
I
did.
was trying to
Listen.
remember them as we went along the way to make sure I fully answered.
You know why? Because you used to me. You know I'm long-winded. You like, well, let me take these notes. Yes, I thank you.
Right, when I look at the playback, I know people are going to be like, why she's not interacting? I know my age. She is super intelligent. And with her being super intelligent, I know that your questions are gonna be very thought provoking. So I'm actually honing in. That's what I'm doing.
And you do it so well. You do it so well. But I wanna, if I can break script for a moment before I go to my next question.
Absolutely.
I just wanna say, give me all of this. Yeah. I wanna say, I love you.
I love you too.
And I am so, so glad that you survived. And I'm glad that you don't mess your makeup up. But I wanted to tell you that I'm so, so glad that you decided to go from surviving to thriving. I see it.
Thank you.
I see the difference.
Thank you.
And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I can't wait for the next Mattie. Tell her she already got a built-in friend, okay? Y'all heard it here first. I just had it. I didn't want that moment to pass. That just, I'm really, yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do we pick up from?
Well, I can definitely say that your honesty is why it had to be you sitting there doing not just this, but building this community. And I know you keep saying podcast, but in my spirit, I keep hearing community.
Oh,
So this community was waiting for you.
wow, wow.
So I'm so, so, so glad that you said yes. And thank you, God, for the download. After the lotus grows from the mud, it looks like it's just sitting on leaves. Like it's just had this, somebody just nicely put it down there. It's just floating, hanging out. When the reality is, if you look underneath the surface, there's tons of roots. There's tons of, we call those aviotic roots, right? So they bend and turn so they can go with the flow of what's happening underneath without ever shifting on the surface.
Tell me about it.
Listen,
Tell
and
me
so
about
all
it.
those roots are connected to the people in your community, and it had to be you. It had to be you. It had to be you to survive. It had
I
to
receive
be you
it.
to be right here.
I receive it.
So thank you for being vulnerable, because you didn't have to answer my question. You could be like, girl, that is for off camera. But thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for answering the question. Now I have a hard question.
Okay. As in, that one wasn't hard enough.
What has been the hardest lesson you've learned?
Oh my goodness. The hardest lesson.
What has been the most recent hardest lesson? Because I'm sure life has given you many. But what would you say is the hardest lesson you've learned as of late?
Stop seeing people for who I desire them to be.
Oh, Father.
See them for who they are at that moment. Even if they will change along the way or at some time. But you have to learn to deal with them accordingly for the moment. Or you may choose to not deal with them at all. Because if who they are is directly negatively impacting you, it's chipping away at you piece by piece, little by little. And those pieces that aren't chipped away, that means you are internalizing. And when things internalize and take root and permeate us, it's going to manifest. It's going to show up, whether it's in our health, in our bodies, and how we communicate, how we interact with others, how we make a decision if we're going out for that day,
Yeah.
it has the ability, I'll put it that way, it has the ability to directly change your makeup if you allow it.
Absolutely.
So that has been one of the hardest lessons throughout my entire life. Because I just want everybody to be good.
Yes.
Like, people see me
Yes.
and they think I'm not approachable, but I feel I have like one of the biggest hearts because I genuinely love people and want them to be well.
You do.
And that honestly comes from an authentic place. I'm a truth teller. That's part of my challenge. But even truth telling comes with a level of emotional intelligence that's definitely necessary.
For sure.
So I'm now learning that I can give you truth, but judge the crowd.
Oh, that's good.
How are you going to say it? Is this the time to say it? Can you allow that person to just feel what they're feeling at the moment and wait for time? Timing is everything.
Everything.
Wait for a divine opportunity to share and not make justification for why you need to get this truth off. Because do you need to get this truth off because it's you or because you're trying to help?
Oh, God. Because listen, people will shoot you down with the truth, okay?
Oh,
thank you for being truthful, but now you killed me.
I got to bring you back to life again. Please don't give me no more truth right now.
And if it's not in your capacity to resurrect me, don't kill me.
Right.
If that's not within you, don't just let me be.
Absolutely.
Write it down. Write it down and send it to me later. Put it for later. But thank you.
Truth telling does not give you the opportunity to be rude.
Right.
Oh, they just need to hear it.
Because here's the thing.
They just need to get it right now. No.
God is a spirit. They that worship this spirit must worship the spirit in spirit and in truth. So, and we know the Bible is not written in English, in Hebrew. So in the Hebrew context, if we exegete that, it is literally saying one of the personifications of God is truth. The very character of God is truth.
That's good.
And so if God in his essence is truth, and he's never shot you down, he's never made you feel less than, God has never been rude.
He's corrected me, but he's done it in love.
So how your truth out here hurting people, and God is truth and doing it without hurting folks?
Don't add up.
This math is not mathing, kids. This math is not mathing
at all.
So while we're talking about people,
while we're talking about people.
Since we here, and people do be peopling. God be got it, but people do be peopling. What do you do? How have you been able, because just from your letter alone and then the things that I know about you, your personal truth is real big. It's got a lot of twists and turns, a lot of detours. It's got texture to it, right? It's not I call it, it's a dirty faith. It's not clean. Oh, my whole life has been, it's dirty faith. You got your faith out the mud.
I did.
So not everybody's equipped to handle that. What do you do when people mean well, but can't handle your truth? How have you been able to meet people where they are, even where they're not equipped to handle all of you? Because that's a part of the healing process, being able to show up and move around when people disappoint you. How do you deal with that?
Maturity has allowed me to understand that although I want to show up in my full self, I can show up in my authentic self, but give it to you in doses at a time.
Did y'all catch that? Did they take notes? Like y'all note-taking people? That was good.
Right.
That was good.
I do know that the energy I bring can be overwhelming to some.
Yes.
And it's because my personality is one of where I love people, but I'm also very strong. And then my assertion for things, ASSERTION, because I am country, I want to make sure you know, it can be misconveyed at times. But that's also coming with judging the room. I don't always have to interject in everything. Although I may have your answer, the answer may not need to manifest at the time. But that's come with wisdom. I've also learned that when people feel that they can identify with you, they're more embracing. I'm at a place now where I can be more vulnerable. And times past, I have not felt confident enough in myself to display my vulnerability.
Right.
I am now understanding that much of what I endured is to have been able to identify with others and to come
Okay.
from a pure, empathetic, authentic, relational place.
So in that vein, what if you have Lotuses, and I believe other people will be watching too, in this community, they have children, loved ones, sister friends, siblings, whomever, that have gone through some of the things you have. What advice do you give them? How can they show up as loved ones for people who've endured some extra life? They extra dose of life experience. What would be your advice to those loved ones? How do you love on somebody who's gone through that and they're in their healing process?
I'm so glad you asked. Listen. Listen, not with the intent to respond, not with the intent to share your story, because at that moment, we don't care. Let's just be, let's just be honest. At that moment,
Yeah, that's real.
we don't care. I get it. People try to show up and share their stories to show that they identify. You may identify. So if you're able to identify, how did you feel at that moment? Did you want to really hear a whole lot of feedback? But that comes with emotional intelligence. Listen to your loved one. I get it. Sometimes when our loved ones continue to make detrimental decisions and then we all got to embrace them again, or they get out of something and go right back to it, and it's a cycle. But that's when they have to establish their boundaries.
Yeah, that's true too. That's 1000%
And because
true.
you have not sometimes established boundaries, now you're responding out of frustration. You don't want to listen attentively, and you sure ain't actively listening. You listening with an intent to respond, because now you're ready to tell them what's on your mind.
Correct. I'm guilty. Correct.
So I would say listen attentively. Look at their nonverbals. See what they're not saying. And then ask questions. You know, to be able to better understand. I tell people all the time, honest communication can solve so many problems.
Yes.
If we would truly say to people how we felt.
Ooh.
If you come to me and you say, hey, Mattie, can you go to the store for me? And I say no. Why is my no not acceptable? So then we start lying to people. I'll go, but we frustrated that we got to go. Now we doing it in the wrong spirit because we lied about how we truly felt about doing it.
Yeah.
So now we create.
And I'm also sick of you now.
Okay. So now we're creating false expectation and fake relationships.
Yes.
And I tell people all the time, you're now feeling a level of discomfort to make somebody else feel comfortable. What does that make? What is that? Does that make sense?
It does not.
I get sacrifice for relationship, but where do we have our boundaries?
Right. Right. And in that same vein, I'm not gonna beat this dead horse to death. I promise you, I got like 2 questions for you, okay? And then we're gonna end it because I want sissy time.
Okay, great. Absolutely.
So while you're gracing people with room to grow, but also listening, also not interjecting, that was really good. I got to work on it. That was really good. Do you have any regrets from the people that you have loved on, allowed to love on you, the life decisions you've made? You started businesses, you've written books, you've done all the things. Do you have any regrets?
I ask myself that question a lot because I'm not sure if the paths that I have taken would have allowed me to have my three beautiful children. Would I be where I am now doing my podcast, being able to meet loads of amazing people showing up? When next episode? When's next episode? I didn't even know you were watching, but people are watching, whether they're liking or commenting, they're watching. But I'm grateful for that. I mean, the numbers are great to see to let you know, in your humanity that you are reaching people. But my end goal is to reach people and that they be blessed, even if from a little small sentence I said or you said. But to answer your question, I know I went on a tangent. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
You unpacked me so much. I don't think I have any regrets.
Okay.
Because if I change one thing, it potentially changes everything.
You know, it's like in the movies whenever there's a movie with time travel, any movie, it can be sci-fi, doesn't matter.
Right.
They be like, don't touch anything. Because the butterfly effect.
Yes.
Just you sneezing in the wrong place. If that sneeze wasn't there before, it changes the entire trajectory of things.
Absolutely.
So you don't have any regrets. That's beautiful.
I don't think I can. Because I know that if I change one thing, possibly changes everything.
That's actually a word. I'm going to have to meditate on that. That's actually really good. So then that brings me to my final question.
Absolutely.
What are you manifesting now? Because, you know, manifestation, it literally is the intersection between Kairos and Chronos, the timing of God and our natural time. When those things interact at its predestined moment, that's what creates manifestation. So what are you manifesting right now? What are you trying to birth into the earth?
I know when people normally ask that question, people are looking for a tangible answer, probably with a laundry list of things. And for somebody else, this answer may sound surface level and nature. But I pray for those of you that are in a place like I am in right now, that this resonates deeply in you.
Yes, Jesus.
I am manifesting the true will of God for my life. And I say that because I have come to a place where I have truly asked him to let me yield so that I can truly yield the fruit of the land, his purpose for me. Yield is twofold in that sense. While I'm surrendering and submitting every area to him, I know it's going to yield a bountiful return. I know that the pieces are going to work together. I feel and I believe, Ave, that everything that I've went through, God is about to show me that he was truly there all the time.
Yeah.
And that it was all part of the purpose and the expected end that he is trying to get me to.
Ooh.
And the weight of my yield is so heavy for me because I know that I have been the one that has been made to feel in my humanity that I have to make it happen. And God is telling me, you got to do that. Got you.
Oh, you in your soft girl kingdom era?
I got you.
Yes.
I got you. That's all. All he keeps saying, haven't I been faithful? Haven't I been faithful?
Yes, yes.
And he has receipts.
That's the part.
Haven't I been faithful? That's like when somebody talking to you and just shut you up. Like you don't have nothing to say about that. Other than yes.
Correct. Other than yes.
Yes. Haven't I been faithful?
That's that challenge where the wives will ask their husbands, like, or whoever, it was a significant other, I don't got the money for mortgage this month.
Right.
I don't got the money for rent. And it was like, when have you okay?
When have you ever?
When have you ever? I've always done this.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
When have you ever needed to figure it out for yourself? When have you ever had to go it alone?
And who am I to think that I can figure it out? We become so full of ourselves.
The way I think I'm smart.
Who do we think we are?
Ooh, and don't let you have some experience under your belt. My goodness.
So that is truly what I'm manifesting. I asked him, I said, please, Holy Spirit, lead and guide me in every decision and every choice. Help me.
Yeah.
I'm being vulnerable enough to know I need it.
Yes. That was good. Well, that's all my questions, friend. I don't have anything else to say.
Yes, you do. You do. Please tell us about your business.
Sure.
Tell us how to find you. Just talk to us.
All the things, right? Hello, guys. Thank you for letting me commandeer this moment and spend some time with my sissy, with you guys. My name is Dr. Avery Atkinson. Everyone calls me Dr. A. You can find me online at averyatkinson.com. I am the owner. I'm a holistic wellness practitioner, a current medical chaplain. I am also a wellness practitioner, so I work in corporate wellness spaces. If you need help getting well across 8 dimensions, I specialize in 8-dimensional wellness. If you need help with that, there's something for you on my website. I do work with individuals. Mainly I do groups now, largely just because of time. So if you need to be a part of a cohort, if I have digital resources as well, so you can feel free to purchase books and workbooks, and you can work at your own pace. I do lots of speaking and retreats. I'm very honored when people call and ask me to do those things, because that's my gift. And so when I get to use my gift, I'm very, very thankful. But yeah, and you can follow me across all social media platforms at Lady A Global. That's LadyAGlobal, Lady A Global. And again, my company is A2G Wellness. That's Avery Atkinson Global. So A2G Wellness. I just love what we're doing. And actually, I'm going to do a shameless plug. Mattie's going to be joining the next cohort. Yes, so we are doing our Manifest 2025 New Year, New You Challenge. And as you all heard today, she is the queen of pivot, right? She has been able to overcome and really manifest and evolve in a new way. And it's been beautiful to see that journey. So I knew I could entrust my folks with her as well. So yeah, we're looking to serve you always. So you can, again, reach me, averyatkinson.com. If you want to reach me directly, I answer all DMs myself. I don't leave that to my assistants. But you can also send an email, which is hello@averyatkinson.com.
There you have it. Lotuses, I hope that this has been one of the best interviews. We know season 1 was amazing. The Lotuses came, sat on the couch. They didn't hold anything back. And I didn't feel like I needed to do anything less than what I asked them to do or what they felt to do or were led to do. So I hope that you are able to glean from this. Please like, please share, Please send your letters to us. We are looking for an impactful season. Lotus Letters Podcast at gmail.com. Mattie, the Lotus. I'm out.
Bye.